Hey, what's up, cats and kittens, and shout out to all my cerebral lights. It is me, the Cerebral Diva, and I'm back with another episode of In the Loop. But before we go another further, do yourself a favor, and while you're at it, do me a solid. Take a second and hit that subscribe button, and once you've done that, take another second to hit that tiny little bell so you can turn on your alerts, and that way you'll be kept in the loop. Having said all of that, let's talk about what we're here to talk about, and that is the drama between Meek Mill and Safaree. Now, I elected to not post the video to it. I'm sure most of you have probably already seen it. And part of the reason why I don't want to post the video is just because I feel like black on black violence is just too prevalent in our culture. We see too much of it. You know, day in, day out, there's videos on Facebook, videos on World Star Hip Hop, videos on YouTube, everywhere where we see black people really doing harm to one another, and I don't want to propagate that in any way, so I'm electing to not post the video. I'm sure if you want to see it, it's all over. Having said that, let's talk a little bit about the video. So it looks like Safaree is in West Hollywood, if I had to guess, and he's at I don't know if he's at what type of event that he's at, but it looks like the event is over and he's outside of it and he's taking pictures with fans and sort of, you know, doing the meet and greet thing. And he is completely oblivious to what's happening around him. Now, if I were to assess the situation based on the video that I've seen, it looks like Meek Mill may have circled the block once or twice, right? And he spotted Safaree, and he said, "Oh, there's that dude. You know, we're gonna, you know, I have some problems with him." And so he dropped his cronies off and positioned them, unbeknownst to Safaree. And then he drives up and opens the SUV door. And as soon as he steps out of the SUV, he immediately locks eyes with Safaree as if to say, "Yeah, remember me?" And on cue, his cronies just begin to pummel Safaree. Now, a lot of people are going to judge Safaree because Safaree ran. Now, I'm not judging him for that. There's a couple of things I am judging him for, but for running, I'm not going to judge him because it really didn't emasculate him to me. If you're in the middle of that situation, right, it's 2017. We see mass shootings, mass stabbings. You never know what's happening in the world that we live in. And so if there's a melee happening around me, I'm getting the hell out of Dodge. So all of a sudden, just without any warning or provocation, these guys just begin to pounce on him. And so you see him, you know, sort of squirming and trying to wiggle his way out of the situation, which ultimately he does. Now, this is the part where I do judge Safaree. So while he's tussling with the three guys, one of Safaree's friends comes to intervene to sort of level the playing field, and he starts attacking the guys from behind. And then the guys realize, oh, he has friends, and one of the guys turns around and starts to fight with Safaree's friend. Meanwhile, Safaree is being pulled down the block to safety, and his friend is being left in the midst of the melee. And since they can't get to Safaree, they sort of take out their aggressions on Safaree's friend. And, you know, they were landing some haymakers on this man, and Safaree's like down the block looking. And at that point, to me, if this is your friend and he was brave enough, loyal enough to step up and to come to your defense, I don't give a damn what's happening. Pick up a bottle, grab keys to a car, and pull a Suge Knight if you have to, and just start running people over. But you don't leave your homeboy out there like that. And so ultimately they were able to get the friend to security as well. But I just think that it's so sad to watch this, you know. And I know a lot of people on social media, it's sad that we live in a culture and in a world where people really enjoy seeing this, because I don't. I think it's sad. I think that this is the reason we lost Biggie. This is the reason we lost Tupac. And while Safaree and Meek Mill I'm not nearly trying to compare them to Biggie and Tupac, but I'm simply saying this ideology that we have within the black community, this hyper masculinity where black men can't talk anymore. They can't have discussions about differences. It has to end in violence, and violence typically escalates. You know, it'll be a fight today and it'll be a shootout tomorrow. And we're losing too many black men, celebrities and non-celebrities, to unnecessary violence. It's just really, really sad to see this happening over and over and over on the continuum, and people don't seem to be learning from it. You know, we talk about Black Lives Matter, we talk about police brutality, but we don't talk about these poor examples that are being set for young black men, because these are the people that they look to. These are the people that they look up to and the people that they want to emulate. And unfortunately, they have some very poor role models from my perception. I don't know what's going to happen moving forward between Meek Mills and Safaree. I frankly don't even understand why there's a beef. You're not with Nicki, I'm not with Nicki. So to me, that nullifies the beef. You guys just go your separate ways. You know, at the end of the day, no one won. She's not with either one of you anymore. So just, you know, go on. She basically helped to elevate both of you guys. So if anyone should have a beef, it probably should be Nicki. She should be the one out there coming to blows with the both of them. And if she's walking away from it, then the both of them should walk away from it. Anyhow, you guys, that's it for this episode of In the Loop. And one more thing really quick before I go. To me, jumping people is probably the most cowardly act that you can do. If you're really about that life, if you really know how to throw those things, you don't need 5 or 6 people behind you. You go mano a mano. So I hate this whole culture of jumping people, because to me, that's for weak people. You know, if you really want to square up and go toe to toe, you do it to a person's face. And you don't do a sneak attack. So that, to me, that's another reason why I don't necessarily see this as emasculating to Safaree, because it was a sneak attack for one, and 2, it's like 3-on-1. Like the odds were definitely in their favor. So if you really want to look tough, if you really want to look big and bad, then you go up to his face and let him know you have a problem, and you give him an opportunity to defend himself properly. When you do the sneak attack, that to me is, in the words of Puffy, that's bitch assness. So anyway, you guys, that's it for this video. And that concludes this episode. So remember to like, comment, subscribe, and please share if you feel so inclined. Remember to follow me across all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. Also remember, it is better to be pissed off than it is to be pissed on. And it's always, in closing, people, remember to live better, love harder, and think smarter. It is me, the Cerebral Diva. I will talk to you guys again soon.